got in a fire 17 years ago.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Don't be. It's fine.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Now you're.
Hey,
Hey, how
how
are
are
you?
you? I'm awesome. How are you?
I am doing great. Let me get myself together to. Oh, there we go. Hey,
Yeah.
George. Oh, hi, Keon. Oh, hi, guys. We got some fellas on here tonight. That's nice.
Hey,
How are you this evening, ma'am?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm excited. I think we're going to talk about some great topics. What
Yeah,
about you?
I am always doing good. Always doing great. So, yeah, just enjoying this heat. We just warmed up here in Michigan, so I am just adjusting.
See, we're in Texas. It's always,
Yeah,
always hot. You don't
yeah.
ever have to worry about if it's going to be hot.
You're like, no adjusting needed.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. We went from North Carolina. We moved 6 months ago from North Carolina.
Okay.
So that was an adjustment. But
Where
beyond
at
that,
North Carolina?
what part?
Where at North Carolina?
Fort Bragg.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
got some family in Charlotte.
Nice. You know
So
what's funny? That 4 years never went to Charlotte.
really,
We
I mean,
should have.
beautiful place from what I got to experience. So
It
maybe
is.
come
My
back.
friend, she was like, "You would have lived there if you would have went to visit." And I said, "You know, we never made
Yeah. Hey,
it."
there's always more time to move. Life, you're not nailed down.
I'm tired. Moving across the country, that's all we do. We would just move across the country, across the country. We went to Philadelphia, then Georgia, then North Carolina.
What's that about? What's the moving about?
Military.
Okay, I was gonna ask that. I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay, what branch?
yeah.
Are you in the military?
No, he was in the military. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
But thank you to those who serve. It's definitely not easy. It is not easy by any means. So, and we
Well,
just adjusted.
thank you all for your service because even though you weren't necessarily within the role, you had to hold it down. So, yes, thank you for your service.
Exactly, exactly. Hey, Amber. So, tonight we're going to spin off and do things a little bit different. We were going to talk about authenticity, which I think is really, really good, especially for you being a perspective coach. You just really have to be authentic in your thinking and just pretty much in your thinking and everything else that you do.
Yeah.
But with everything going on, we're kind of going to hit a few topics tonight because obviously we're both African American women. We have to, use our platform to
Yeah.
tastefully and gracefully speak on the real, pretty much. So we're going to hit all that tonight. So you guys stay tuned. But first, I definitely want to introduce you all to Lanasia. If you're not using Instagram to network, what are you doing? Okay. I met this
What
phenomenal
is
woman.
you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? I met her through Instagram and it's been cool. She's actually already, this is what, first, second conversation, but she's already impacted my family in some positive ways. She's
Okay.
already sprinkled a little bit of, health and, prosperity in my life. So she's definitely going to do that all for you. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and then we will go from there. So go ahead,
Okay.
Lanasia.
Well, I am Lanasia. Thank you all for joining this evening. I see we got some new people popping in. So I'm Lanasia. I'm from Detroit, 313 in the building. So I actually just recently quit my job, my full-time corporate sales job, left the boys club to coach full-time.
Yes.
So I am a full-time life and leadership coach. I coach on perspective specifically. And with that, what I focus on primarily is helping women to overcome their limiting perspectives so that they can begin to create the life that they want. It's a lot of fear, doubt, shame, lack of confidence, lack of commitment, lack of, consistency that holds us back. So if we can just dig deep and get to the root, pluck it at the root, then we begin to experience life in abundance. So I help people to tap into their greatness. I believe that everything you need is already within you. No one else has the answers for your abundance. You have them. They're within you. God did not create you lacking anything. You have it all. He created this full and perfect human being, but we have to be inventive about ways to tap into everything that he provided us with so that we can use it. We don't want to leave this world full of anything. I want to leave empty. So
Exactly.
I help people to tap into that so that they can experience life on the other side of their limitations,
That is awesome. That is awesome. Because I know that sometimes it's always maybe just that little push from a
Yeah.
coach that'll make the difference. And a lot of people don't recognize that they need a coach, especially, in this self-made world. Explain like what the importance of a coach is, why everyone needs to find a business coach and love them and hold on to them.
So I want to tell a story about Oprah Winfrey. So Tony Robbins is one of my favorite coaches. I've been following him for years. For years, I actually just did a workshop in partnership with his team over the last month. So that was super incredible.
Right?
But the story was shared with me about Tony Robbins coaching in a room with Oprah Winfrey, because Oprah got a coach too, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coaching Oprah Winfrey, and he asked everyone. He said, on this sheet of paper, I want you to write down where you think you are on a scale from 1 to 10 with regards to your level of achievement. And Oprah wrote 3. And people in the room like, if Oprah 3, I'm a negative 23. Like,
Right.
Ain't no way Oprah 3.
Right.
But the way that Oprah explained it, which gave me a tremendously fresh perspective, was I didn't write a number according to the accomplishments I've had thus far. Like, Oprah's a billionaire. She's a household name. Everybody knows Oprah worldwide, not nationwide, worldwide. But she said, I wanted to choose a number that was in reference to my potential, because there's so much more, and everyone should hold on to that hope to know there's so much more. And if someone can just I'm amazing, I'm bomb, I'm incredible, I've reached so many heights, but what if I could transform my perspective, broaden it a little bit, see things a little bit differently? Now I can use the greatness that I already have to access a new level. So that's why coaching is so important. Coaching is not to say that you're a failure. Coaching is for people who are failing in life, people who are stagnant in life, and people who are successful in life. Everybody needs a coach, because there's always a new and fresh perspective that you have not even tapped into to be able to access a new level in your life. So yes, everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs additional support. I have a coach and I'm a coach. So definitely, being able to, until you die, there's always a new level. You should have that kind of drive and that kind of hope within your life to know that, I've scratched the surface, but there's a little bit more that I can tap into. So let me do the work. Let me be intentional about implementing things into my life, both personally and professionally, for me to be able to achieve those new heights. Because again, I'm not trying to leave empty. I'm not trying to leave full. I'm trying to leave everything on the table when I leave this earth. So I'm going to continue to do things that allow me to tap into the next level, because there's always more.
Wow. Y'all get that? Okay, message. We're gonna stop the live right there. That's it. Okay. No, but absolutely, to everything that you said, especially the fact that it doesn't mean if you have a coach, you're not where you need to be. Every successful person has somebody who's further ahead than them grabbing them along, holding their hand, saying, I got you, we're going to the next level. I'm going, you coming with me. And
100%.
sometimes, say it again.
I said 100%. I'm going to say that a million times. I got to get
No,
better. My
no,
ad libs, 100%.
no, you're good, boo. You're good, boo. And I mean, so as they're pulling you along, people aren't used to that kind of mindset because most people think like business is a dog eat dog type of industry. You know, you can't support one another. And I don't know, I just might be naive, but I don't agree with that. I think there's room for me to win. Lanasia, you're winning. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, guys on the timeline, if you have a business, you're destined to win. There's room for all of us. There's enough money for all of us. It's enough room for all of us. So what do you say to people who aren't necessarily used to like the coaching experience and they're having a hard time maybe submitting to a coach?
Well, number one, anyone who I invite into a coaching experience, whether that's on my membership platform or a one-on-one experience, group setting, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. You have to be flexible. You have to be open to every idea that you have about yourself and about this ability that could potentially change after working with me. So what was your question again? You said, what do I say?
It throws up. Well, so what would you say for someone who kind of is having a hard time either finding a coach or submitting to the coach that they have? You know, two different questions, but kind of.
Yeah. Well, if you have trouble submitting to the coach, it could be one of two things. Either that coach isn't necessarily a good fit for you, which that does happen. That's the reality of the business. Or you haven't accepted the responsibility that you have to play in achieving success throughout this process. Coaching is 90% the client, 10% the coach. I am guiding you. I am leading you to your own answers, but you have to do the work to be able to access it. Your commitment is going to be required. Your consistency is going to be required. Your courage to be able to face and conquer your fears is going to be required. You're going to have to show up. So, I mean, with regards to finding a right coach, sometimes that's by trial and error. I haven't had anybody say that I haven't been effective in their lives, but that's because of the kind of coaching that I do. I can help anybody who's ready for a mindset shift, I can pretty much help. Now, if you're not ready and coachable and, ready to experience life on the other side or ready to experience a transformation, because some people are so comfortable and so familiar with their beliefs that they refuse to let go. And even though a coaching experience seems like it's something they want to be a part of, I can tell immediately if they're ready.
Right.
Because most times you'll get a mindset shift with me in about 30 seconds. So if your mindset hasn't shifted, no.
Mm-hmm.
But trial and error and, your coachability. You have to be ready.
Exactly.
And as a coach, this isn't a good fit for you. That's a reality too. So.
And you hit something that's really, really quite key. That mindset shift, that mindset kind of has to be there. This is not with business. I know there are so many things that have been so helpful now. We have something to post our scheduled post on Instagram and Twitter. We don't even have to worry about that anymore. Canva does all the marketing for it. We have all of these things. And so now it's like almost people kind of feel like, well, I only have to do a little bit. Like, it's still not as easy as it looks. I know you see on Instagram, there are men and women and they're shining and it seems like, dang, a year ago they didn't even have a business. But that mindset that goes into being an entrepreneur and being ready, what does that look like? What's the difference between that versus somebody who's, full-time employee?
Well, can you answer that question? Can you ask that question again? Because somebody can be a full-time employee and still...
Well, let me rephrase. Thank you. Let me rephrase that. So what mindset do you need, regardless of if you're a full-time entrepreneur, a part-time employee, a part-time entrepreneur? What key attributes, what key things do you need to have for you to start, accepting coaching and really progressing in your business?
You have to be open to let go of everything that you once believed to be true. Everything that's comfortable and everything that has pretty much brought you to this point. A lot of us feel like everything that I did and everything that I believed, it brought me to this point. But what's going to get you to the next point is the new beliefs and the new habits that you adopt. So you have to constantly be in a state where you're flexible to change. You are constantly evolving. You are not the same person. Granted, a lot of characteristics, the foundational characteristics about you are the same. You know what I'm saying? You might have the same laugh or, the same personality. But with regards to your mindset, it's actually quite simple. The process is a little more in depth. But with regards to what it just takes a decision. The difference between the people that get what they want in life and the people that don't get what they want in life is a decision. And the decision is more than just saying I want it. A decision is actually taking the proper steps to getting it.
Make it happen.
So
Exactly.
you have to decide. Once you decide that you want something different in your heart and in your mind, then everything else will align. Everything else will align, but you have to decide that you truly want it. And most people can speak it out of their mouth, but they don't hold it in their hearts. And that's why it's hard for them to manifest the things that they want out of this life.
Exactly. And like you said, it's hard for them to manifest the things that they want because you don't believe on the inside. I remember I read something and someone was like, well, affirmations doesn't work, and I was like, well, who said, It's like, well, you just saying something doesn't make it so. And I'm like, absolutely. That would be silly, to say I'm whatever and you're not, I'm a human. I can't say I'm a dog. I'm a human.
Right.
That's just an example. It's literally like that, but I can say, I am going to be a multimillionaire business owner. And that's my big goal. And I didn't just say it, but I broke it down in steps on how I'm going to get there. You can't just say things and then poof, expect them to happen. There got to be a little bit of groundwork in there, okay? You got to grind it out too. You got to educate yourself and stretch yourself and your mind and your capacity to really start pushing to that level of success that you want. Being successful is not a passive thing that just happens upon somebody. I would think that,
Nobody ever fell up a hill. I say that all the time. Nobody ever fell up a hill. They climbed.
Exactly. Like Lanasia, just for example, so how many hours have you put in just overall in your business to get where you are today? How many hours? What would you say? Just
a lot.
A lot. Exactly. A lot.
That suffice. A lot.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
but
and
it's not just the amount of hours that I put in, it's the amount of focused hours. Because what I find is that when I find efficiencies within my business that help it, help different aspects to sustain themselves, I'm actually working less hours in the day, but the hours that I'm putting in are so focused that I'm getting more done in less time.
That sounds like 4-Hour Workweek, girl. Hey, you gotta introduce me to
that. I've never heard of it.
Really, it's a really good book. It's called The 4-Hour Workweek. So I don't know if anybody else has heard it. I have seen it. It's in my bookshelf. I need to still read it, but I know it's good because I was recommended it from.
I gotta check it out.
Yes. Since you're headed towards that direction anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that 4-Hour Workweek on it.
Okay, and still get the same coin, get more coins. Well, I don't want coins anymore. Someone said stop saying coin, and I'm like,
I need cash money. Okay.
Yeah, she said I don't want coins. Coins is not cute. I said okay, I'm with you. Okay, no more coins for me. Okay.
I like that.
Yes. So tell us about your Women Run June challenge that you have going on right now.
So, as I stated, I left my job to run my business full-time April 28th. So God spoke to me, and it was a very interesting, it was a day. Like, granted, I had been thinking about it for months, but it was one day that I made the decision and was like, all right, I guess I'm quitting today. The Holy Spirit told me to move, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm taking a leap. But when I started, like about 6 days before I left my job, I started to run. I've had since 2018 a goal to run a half marathon. But I wasn't even running. That's the crazy thing. You set these goals and then you don't even go out there. I went out and ran a little bit, but I was working so much. So I had this short-term goal since 2018 to run. And since the pandemic, us being at home, it allowed me so much more free time. So I was like, okay, I'll get back out there and start running. So I got back out there and started running, and then 6 days later, I quit my job.
Wow.
But the reason, like the me wanting to run a marathon since 2018, a half marathon, was very symbolic of the marathon that I'm in for my business. Because the vision that I see, I don't know when it'll manifest. I used to always say it won't happen for a long time, but the way that God has shown up in my life, it could happen this year. So I never want to say it won't happen for a long time. But what I do know is that whether those visions come into fruition this year or 10 years from now, it's going to be a marathon regardless, because I'm staying in it. It's the race for my life.
Exactly.
So I'm not racing anybody else beside me. It's a marathon. So I'd always wanted to do that. And then I quit my job and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start running, because it actually is something that's now, it wasn't even about the marathon for my business. It was more so like, if I'm going to actually have this, put in the same amount of work ethic and see the same results for my business that I was able to see for my career, then I'm going to have to set up some structure. And then I'm also going to have to do some things for my mind to push it past its limits, push my body past its limits to show myself what I'm capable of. So it was to help me build confidence. Because as you know, when you're running your business full time, even though you have that drive, how do you maintain it? How do you sustain it? Like, what can you do every single day that, because you have to continue to do things that help you to sustain your confidence. And that is by accomplishing smaller things. Exactly. So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to run a mile by the end of, I want to run a mile straight without any breaks. And I did that within 6 days. And I shared the story. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible. Like, I was able to push myself. I was able to lean on God and trust myself. So I want to be an example. I want my life to be an example for what happens when you trust God and you do the work. Like, that's what I want. So I started to just share my journey. And as I was sharing my journey of running and what it was doing for my life, for my physical health, and, for my mindset, and also for my business, because it was giving me that daily confidence that I needed to go into my day, a lot of women were reaching out to me. Hey, Terrence, we're actually in a run challenge of our own right now, me and my boy Terrence. So I'm about to snag $50. But anyway, a lot of people were reaching out to me, telling me how inspired they were. Like, I'm so inspired by your journey. You got me out running. Like, my little sister, who I'm inspired by so much. She's so intelligent, so beautiful. She started running, and people were messaging me like, I'm watching you run, girl. I got out there and was walking. Like, I haven't run in 3 years. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something for the ladies, because so many women are reaching out to me. So I actually want to share this with other people. Like, you don't walk this journey alone. I want to, any great thing I find out, like, everything's not going to be a business for me. I don't have a desire to start a run club, but I do know that anything that I do that has been impactful in my life, I want to take other people on that journey with me. That's how I feel about coaching. Like, my life was transformed when I became like flexible in my thinking, and I want everybody else to experience that. Like, if you stuck, let me help you to get to the other side, because it's possible. Like, that's the kind of enthusiasm I have about it. So I was like, let me start this journey with some women. So I reached out to some amazing women that I know and was like, hey, would you all be interested in sponsoring this? Without hesitation, they were like, yep, I'll give a beauty package. I'll give 2 fitness sessions. And I was like, oh my gosh, the love is so real. So we have 70 women nationwide on this journey, running with us every single day, pushing themselves past their limits. Someone texted me today and was like, usually I wouldn't even hold myself accountable and continue running, but because of this challenge, it's helped me to stay on task. People are like, oh my gosh, you don't know how much I needed that. I got moms out there with strollers, pushing the babies. I'm like, I'm so inspired. So inspired. So I'm grateful that my life could be an example, and I'm this big in it. It's so much bigger than me. So I'm grateful that I was just able to share something that was helpful to me and get other women on board to, walk their own journey, run or jog it.
Exactly. And if you were on the live earlier, that's when I said, like, in Lanesia, we haven't even met physically in person, but she's already impacted my entire family's life because today we got out there, and if you want to join, they can still join, right?
Yep, you can still join. It is a cash prize of $520. And for everyone who donated, I'm not collecting any money. It's going toward whoever has the most progress from day 1 to 30. Hey Valerie, from day 1 to 30. So you won't be in the running for that, but we are still giving away prizes each week. So we're giving away beauty packages, fitness sessions, like all kinds of stuff. So make sure you join that. The $100 Amazon gift card was already snagged today. Somebody ran 30
Mhm.
miles in 3
In
days.
3 days.
Shout out to Jocelyn for being just, so focused, so dedicated, and just competitive. She was
Aiming
like,
out.
I am competitive, so I'm not about to lose. So, and I love it because it's healthy competition. We're supporting one another. So,
Exactly. I love it. And one thing that it kind of really got exciting for me was, those endorphins are being released. And as you're walking, like, it's been so long.
yes.
Yes, I have a 3-month-old. So I haven't walked a mile in 9 long months plus some change, so to be out there just with my family, and my son, he sees these healthy habits. I have a 2-year-old as well, and he's walking with us, and he's getting healthy. And that muscle memory of just mom and dad have always been active. We always used to walk
Yes.
miles together. So that's nothing new. And we're eating healthier because we're walking. I didn't want to come home and eat something super heavy. So smoothie it was, and my son had his fruit and his corn dog, and we were able to rest, and we felt so good because we were active as a family. You have no idea how that small step every day will make a difference.
You're gonna
Like,
make me emotional.
it's serious. It's like compound effect,
Yeah.
because I have to do it and I'm accountable to not just you, but to myself, because I said it, my followers on here. It's 30 miles, 30 days, right? Every day you're walking a mile, right? And you may not see a change in one day. You may not even see a change in 15 days. But by day 30, I know that I have walked 30 miles in my entire life. Who would have even, if you would have told me, like, you're going to walk 30 miles this year, I'd be like, you're a lie. I can
Yes.
guarantee
Yes.
you I'm not walking 30 miles. But how about I'm doing it in 1 month, less than 3 months after I had my son? You know what I'm saying?
That's
And it eliminates the excuses. It eliminates well, I don't know if I can do that. You can do all things. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm walking up my hill, I'm like, ooh, I was walking up the hill on 5. I was like, I can do all things through Christ who gives me
right.
strength. Lord, I need it right now, as I'm walking up this hill. But once I got in that house, I was like, oh, look at me in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? And I feel good.
Yeah.
It
I
produces
always say, my company is called Rise and Be Great. I am chopping off the grape. This is going to be Rise soon. But I've been on this wave of activate your greatness and small steps to greatness. So I love that you're saying one a day, 1 mile a day. And I've done 30 miles. Like, who would have known? Like, if somebody asked me if I was gonna do 30 miles in my lifetime, in a
exactly.
year, I'd be like, no, but I'm gonna do it in a month.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. So thank you for sharing that perspective with me, because that wasn't even something that I had in mind. And you really just I don't know, you just really touched my heart by sharing your story, sharing your journey. If nobody else shares anything else, I know that, this was not in vain, and that somebody got some value out of this. So thank you.
Yes, no, thank you. You started that. And that's the important thing. Guys, lead where you are. I don't know, that just popped in my head, but I feel like I don't want to miss over that because I know it's going to be a word when Lanesia finishes out for me. But
That's good.
lead where you are. You know what I'm saying? I needed Lanesia, 70 other women needed Lanesia right where she was at. She didn't have, I don't know her funds. She got it all. She got whatever she says she has. But you know what I'm saying? We have her right where she is. Don't be scared to just take what you have and go. When God says go, you got to make some moves. Take what you got and work with it. Take what you have and work with it. I didn't have an Instagram 2 months ago when the pandemic started. You know what I'm saying? And I am networking with business women way, way above where I'm looking to go, you know? And it's just me stepping out saying, this is what I got, but, you know, can you work with me? Can you help me? You know, big sis, just grab my hand. You know what I'm saying? And there are women like Lanasia. There are women like, I don't even need to drop their names, but there's some phenomenal things going on Instagram. If y'all are not tuned in to these Black women who are taking over the marketing scene, the coaching scene, the business scene, get attached to at least all of them, okay? Because they're willing to grab our hands and take us there. So if you have a business, please connect with women like Lanasia, and just following her, you can connect with other women, and they'll do things like this, like, dang, she just started a challenge, and now my life is changing all over again. Don't ever underestimate that, okay?
Yeah.
So
I'm
lead where you are.
using that one tomorrow. Lead where you are. That's gonna be my tweet, my infamous tweets that I
Go
post.
ahead.
So that is good. That is really good.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Just
You're
appreciate
so
it.
easy to talk to. I could like talk to you all night.
See, and I have like my best friend Amber's on here. She's like, don't challenge her to that. She's really good at that. Don't
I
tempt
guess
her.
we will.
Okay, don't tempt her. Okay. So obviously, with everything going on, it's kind of been hard, I think, for everybody to not lose focus of their business goals, you know. And there were a few things that I want to talk to you about business, especially right now in this climate, since you're a coach, on how to navigate that. Are you okay with that?
I think so.
She's good. She's good. She's good.
Definitely I am.
Yes, yes. So, just right now, as far as you and your business, I know there are a lot of people who want to be aligned with someone who has a company that kind of reflects their values. How are you kind of navigating this situation right now with everything going on?
As far as a leader,
As a leader.
Because I am a Black woman, I am in the thick of it. I am, reaching out to get involved. A lot of what I do is not on a macro scale, but it's on a micro scale. So I do make sure that I show up for my clients, whether in a group setting or one-on-one. And I pray with them. I make sure that they're okay. I see how they're feeling before I go into any work.
Nice.
So that's something I've been very intentional about, even if it is a week later. And I'm going to continue to do that because things shift. So always making sure, are you okay? How are you? How can I be of service to you? I'm making sure that I'm continuing to do positive things. I actually am going to be doing something soon called This Is My Protest to highlight people doing completely different things to show the way that they show up in their community and for their community, because I don't believe that just marching is the only way, just donating is the only way, just signing a petition is the only way. I believe that everyone at bare minimum should have signed a petition. No one should have not signed a petition. There's no way. That is a must. And then everything else, you show up where you are able to. But yeah, just being the example of love and also Christ. I'm actually, I was just on a prayer call before this. I'm with a prayer group, a couple of prayer groups actually. And they talked about, still glorifying God's name in the midst of it all, because it would be a shame if God did all this, allowed us to have the attention so that they could hear us, for us to get this equity, this racial equity, and then it be lost because we are exalting ourselves instead of exalting Christ and all of this. Keeping the attention on Jesus.
Exactly.
And not taking any credit for anything that's going on, and showing up and donating. And I signed up to volunteer. I haven't volunteered since I had my own nonprofit. So just making sure that I am doing the work.
Exactly. And that is a great example, guys. I brought Lanasia on here because I knew just from her content on her feed, you have to have people who are pouring into your spirit. Everything on Instagram and social media is just like you're going every which way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
first I'm seeing the baby, then I'm seeing stuff about George Floyd. Oh, I like her hair. Let me get, you know what I'm saying? There's so much that your emotions are going through every single second. So
Yes.
make sure, like, when you follow people who every time I know I can open her page, I can go to her story, and it's either going to be a resource, it's
Yeah.
going to be encouragement, is going to be a success story from another mom across the country who's running her mile today. It's going to be some coaching, some mindset shift, that perspective coaching that she was talking about. And it's just a lot of reflection and a lot of positivity. So I love to see that poured on the feed as you go down. So that's super important. And like you said, checking in, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Check on your strong friends right
Take
now,
her strong
check
friend.
on, you know, and people didn't even, I don't know, I haven't heard anybody say anything, but check on your family members who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, because this is not anything new to them. They actually experienced Jim Crow laws. A lot of them experienced, you know, the reality of possibly being lynched every day, you know, so
Yeah,
check on them too,
that's
because
good.
this is traumatic for them. You know, this is
That's really good.
flashback, you know. So some of us have only seen something like this the first time and we're enraged. Imagine living in an area of Florida, Dallas, you know, where you, Detroit, where you're seeing it all the time, you know. So check on them as well and make sure you're being accountable of what you say and what you put on your social media. And
For
I
sure.
love that you're going to do My Way to Protest and highlight different ways.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of people kind of bash both sides. If you're out there protesting and they don't understand why you're protesting where you're protesting, they say that's dumb. Then you turn around and you're not protesting. So the protesters are saying, well, you're dumb, you know? And I just think we should all just maybe have a little bit of grace for everyone, you know? There is no one lane, you know? And if you
Everyone,
just,
it's what I always say is put the aces in their places. Everybody has a role, and no one role. When you think about the biggest things that go on in life, you know, think about the president, and he has bodyguards, and he has maids, and he has, you know, like every role matters. So don't try to minimize. Like that's one thing. I don't want to get too far off into that, but where we have this competition is just so deeply rooted.
yeah,
So, you know, there's always this competition, you know, one against the other. I don't want to talk about that because I do see so much unity and so much love in the Black community. So I want to tread lightly with that conversation. But I just feel like if we continue to be the example, continue to spread the love, don't even shed light on the negativity, then it'll be overshadowed. Like I don't even want to shed light on the negativity that y'all talking about. I'm just gonna be love. I'm gonna exude love. I'm gonna embody love. I'm gonna give love. I'm gonna receive love, and everything else I don't even see it. I got tunnel vision to it because if I give it attention, it grows.
exactly, exactly. And it makes you feel a certain type of way too. Once you really start to like, well,
Mhm.
here's my stance, or you pick a side, or you know, you start getting less empathetic, then it starts to weigh you down.
Yeah,
So, like you said, I choose to be love. I choose
for
to be
sure.
light. I choose to look at things and see the positive out of all of them. So, kudos
Definitely.
for just rising above and having that sharpened mind to think ahead, because you know there's so many who are just trying to navigate, you
Yeah,
know. And so I think, you know, just showing grace to one another as we navigate through something that, you know, only the good book tells you how to get through it. You know, beyond that, you
100%.
just have to one day at a time.
Yep.
Um, so, oh, I'm sorry. I almost fell out of my chair. But so going forward, you said you would be posting stuff about different ways to protest. And I
Mhm.
saw that you did something on your story about putting your money where your mouth is.
Did
Yes, no,
you?
no. Okay, well, I'm just kidding. So we just going what are you so what an entrepreneur did. I thought it was you, awkward, but we just gonna encourage it anyway. Whoever you are, sis, I hope you watching. It was awesome. But she highlighted different Black owned businesses. And she was like, well, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is today.
Mhm.
And she just showed on her feed, $5 here, $10 here, to different businesses. And other people went on her story and started to match it.
Yeah,
So that was cool.
I
I
love that.
thought you did something like that, but there's an
That's
idea,
awesome.
because you got a tribe behind you. So all you have to do is just say that, and there we go. So,
Yes.
um, but as a perspective coach and a business owner, what positive ways would you invite others to creatively get involved beyond signing a petition? Any other ideas of how people can get involved?
I mean, all the ways that I just mentioned: sign a petition, volunteer, protest if that is your position, if you feel true to yourself when you're in that space, and continue to spread love, support someone, because there's support needed on so many levels. You don't just have to be at a protest. There is an organization in Detroit called Detroit Phoenix Center and Enjoy Detroit, and they are giving away food still. It's like a lot of the needs from COVID are kind of being overshadowed, and they are still giving away. Jewel Jones, David Woods, and Courtney Smith, all in Detroit, doing amazing things, giving away hundreds of boxes of food every day to the community. So, just things like that definitely are ways that people can show up and still push the mission forward, of, equity and success and thriving communities. So there's so many different ways, and do whatever's true for you, as long as it's positive, as long as it produces positive outcomes within yourself and within the community.
Exactly. I also know Rowlett Friendship, every second and fourth Sundays, they give away food as well.
Mhm.
So if you are in need, that is definitely a resource for you there. And if you want to volunteer, I know hands down they're on the ground giving out food. So
Yeah.
there's another way to get involved. And there are so many ways. There are still camp events that are going on this summer, guys. There are still the communities that need you for Pee Wee football and stuff like that. Just stay close
Yeah.
to your passion and what makes you happy. Right now we're working from home.
Right.
So for those of us who are still working from home, continue to just enjoy and look for the pockets of positivity. Yes, we're at home,
Definitely.
but you also have time to, on your lunch break, like my husband started to work out on his lunch break.
Yeah.
Never been able to eat lunch with your spouse. Y'all went to different
Yeah.
places. So just look for those little positive things. Look for those passions that you seem to be doing while you're at the house board, and
Right.
just really let those grow. Really let those grow and see where it takes you, because I think this is the turning point for a lot of things, like that passion. You know what I'm saying? You are now
100%.
a full-time entrepreneur at the house. And it's like, man, 2 months
Yes.
ago, 3 months ago, what I was thinking about it, but here I am. And I'm
Well, that's
hearing
what
that
happens
success story.
when God really gets your attention, because he's been saying it to you all the time, but then he actually gets your full attention. And that's just to go back to, I actually want to leave off with this, just to go back to glorifying God in all of it. I never want to be exalted, like he says, like, if I be lifted up, then I'll draw all men to thee. Like, you exalt me first, and everything else comes to you. You know what I'm saying? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, then all these things flow to you. So keep exalting God in everything that you do. And that is going to draw to you the success that you want. And, I ain't saying don't do the work, because God ain't about to just show up at the threshold, open the door and carry you. Like, he's
Right.
not about to do all that. He's requiring something of you. But as you're doing your work, never get so on your high horse that you think it's you, that you think is by your might and by your power, because it's by his spirit that he allowed all these things to transpire within your life. So me being a full-time entrepreneur and being able to reach the people in the way that I do is because of his spirit. And I'm super grateful that he chose me to be able to do this work, because it is the most rewarding work I've ever um, ever had the experience to, be a part of and do. I'm super, super overwhelmed with gratitude every single day.
Yes, that's what's up. Sorry, I just had to fess up. Like, that right there could string a whole bunch of just, and God did this for me, and God did this. You can't say thank you enough for where
Yeah.
you are right
Yeah.
now. When I said take what you have and use it right now, it's because, like you said, he's giving you everything. He's giving you everything. I was walking today and I was like, it's nobody but you that's getting me up this hill, because I know I'd be tumbling back. It was nobody but you.
I wouldn't have been able to get off this hill without you, Jesus.
I wouldn't have been able to get out the hill. And then I was looking at it, I was like, I have my feet to move and my arms to move at the same time. Ain't this a mess? And then you just start thinking, and it's like the small things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want so much and we think, and we're comparing so much, and we're looking and we see all these different influencers and all these different businesswomen, and you want that. You long for that. You know what I'm saying? But God has a lane that's specially just for you. There are people that you will touch that I would never be able to touch, because the way you deliver things, the way you are not
100%.
God made you for you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And God made me for people. And so you can't win a race looking at somebody else. You can't run and, be looking at somebody else. You need to be, like you said, tunnel vision. You'll stumble. Yeah. Laser focused, and I say, if I focus on God's will, I'll go exactly where I need to be, So I definitely agree with everything you're saying, you guys. Just now, it may look bad, but now is a really good time to just dig deep. Dig deep, dig deep. I think there's so much inside of us just waiting to burst out. I think we all had to take this time away to sharpen ourselves and prepare ourselves, read the books that we need to read, really just start getting our hands dirty. So when we come out this thing, we're more focused, we're more united, we're more talented even. You know what I'm saying? You sharpened your skills through this. So it's all about mindset, back to being perspective, that perspective. It's all about your mindset, because that's really the foundation of it. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in what you're doing, Lanasia can do backflips for you. She can write out the business plan. We can do all the marketing, but it still won't pop. It's you. It's between you and God, and that belief factor of, if I trust you, God, I kind of want to do it. And he'll give you every opportunity, every chance to be better than you were before.
Yes. I like that.
Hey, thank you. I truly mean it. It's been a journey. And I think none of us, I know all of us, didn't expect this 2020 to be the way it is, And I just have been surrounded by women, and it's encouraged me to be like, they're still moving on, She may be suffering from depression or anxiety like I am, but look at her. She's still running her business, So we're on the social media platform. We're here as an example almost, You're highlighting, this is what I'm doing to maintain during this time. I hope it's something positive, I hope you're impacting women across the country. You have thousands of followers, all of us can and should be, find that thing, dig deep, and, help others. People are waiting for you, just for you.
Yes, you are
they're
right.
waiting. Yeah, they're waiting just for you to step out your shell and into that greatness that God needs you to perform at. And it doesn't take anything extra, but just that little step that you're afraid to do. Hop on that live, guys. Message that business
You about
that
to
you
have
want to
me
work
on
with.
live tomorrow.
Yes.
You about to have me on live. I never go live. You about to have me on live every week. Like,
oh, Lord. No, you have to go live. You have to go live.
She said go live. So, but yes, I just want to thank you for using your platform to, spread the love of Jesus Christ, number one, and just help, spread love amongst women. When you reached out to me, I felt your spirit. You were just so bubbly and enthusiastic about the work that you were doing. So I appreciate you. Thank you for this time. And keep doing the work. It don't stop. It don't stop.
I appreciate it. And that's like a big deal. I'm trying not to get like too hype for it here, but that's a big deal coming from people that you want to work with, that you have looked at as an example. So guys, it's literally just like a DM away. We sliding in the DMs this year.
Right?
Like,
Just
we
slide
need
in the
to.
DM.
Yes,
And it
slide
might
in
be
the
a
DMs.
blessing for you. Well, I'm about
I'm
to
right
slide
here.
in my DMs. You better stop playing. But yes, I would love to connect with, stay connected with you
Yes.
guys. Follow me on social media, Lanasia Angelina. I offer a monthly coaching platform that allows you to get weekly coaching, mindset, and professional development. And you also have access to, live coaching opportunities. So conversations just like these amongst the group of women nationwide is super incredible. Just seeing the women hold one another accountable every single week.
Yeah. So connect with her. Connect with her. If you're not ready for coaching right now, that's okay. We
Yes.
have great people who will meet you where you are. I'm telling you, the
Yes.
content that she posts, you need that encouragement. You
Yes.
need that insightfulness.
Yes.
And you need people around you who are pouring positive into you, because regardless of if you want it or not, what you're seeing is going into your spirit. So align with those people who are encouraging one another. Yes, encouraging one another. Align yourself with people who are where you want to be, not where you're at. Get where you want to be. And
Absolutely.
just stay encouraged, guys. Stay
Yes.
encouraged. It looks a little sketch, but I'm telling you, God is in the miracle business and he's doing some phenomenal things. So be ready. Stay ready, actually. You need to either be getting ready or
You stay
staying
ready.
ready.
You gotta get ready.
There you go. So, but if you start now, get ready. Do something.
Do the work.
Do something.
Do something.
Yes, do something.
Small steps to greatness. You don't have to think about the entire staircase. Just one step.
One step at a time. One
Okay.
step at a time. 1 mile at a time, too, guys. Again, you can still go in for Women Run June.
Run with us. Run with us.
Run with us.
Throughout the month of June.
Absolutely. It is really, really cool to see other women on the scoreboard. Some women have 15 miles. Some women have, like I said, 30 miles. But don't get discouraged, because it's healthy competition, but we're all rooting for one another.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we're all rooting for one another. One step at a time, one day at a time, guys. So, Lanasia, thank you so much for joining us. I know that I learned a lot. I'm super excited. This has been so cool to work with the entrepreneur that you look up to, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, if you want to reach out to Lanasia, definitely do that. And we'll be back. Oh, one more point. Starting in June and July, I'll be doing Thursdays where we get the interviews and the mindset from the entrepreneurs. And Fridays, we'll start to promote small and Black-owned businesses every Friday at 7. That's how I'm going to do it, So we're going to be promoting Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and their products. So you guys connect as well. And we will see you guys soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.